We are back with another Pick'em video. It is Monday, January 19th in the NBA. It is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, so hopefully you guys have the day off or something, maybe a little less work today, and you can enjoy some basketball. With that, there's going to be earlier games today. If I attack those, you'll be seeing them early on in the video, and you'll also be having, there'll be more opportunities. I'm going to attack the later slate of games as well. So if you got here later in the day, then you'll be able to attack the video still with those following plays. And yesterday, the later picks were the ones that ended up catching. We went 2-1 in the plays. We are going to hop into a recap in just a second here. But if you could do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the page, comment something down below if you can. It always tells YouTube to push this video out a little bit more. And I definitely need help with that right now as the views are down, like I've been mentioning. But yeah, appreciate everyone that likes the video. The like rate's been insane. So let's hop in the recap, and then we can get into plays for today. So here were the plays from yesterday. Quick recap. Ja Morant. I think, my theory is he saw a baddie in London in that courtside row, and he decided to put his head down and put on a show. He had 20 points in the first half, which crushed us, which sucked. I felt like an idiot. But at the same time, he only ends with 24 points, only plays 28 minutes. He shot 3 of 4 from 3. He got to the free throw line a whole bunch. So that one didn't make me feel too good, especially because it was the early game. So starting off the day bad. But we made up for it the other two picks. Steven Adams over 7.5 boards. This was plus money. He grabbed 10 of those things. Cam Thomas over 2.5 assists. I might be a genius. He had 10 assists. I never thought Cam Thomas would scratch the surface of 10 assists in his entire career. But since that injury, I think he's had a little bit of a wake-up call. And he's starting to pass the rock a little bit. 24 minutes, only shot 6 times. That's unheard of for Cam Thomas. But we kind of had that read early, and maybe those lines start to trickle up. But minus 108, great value. I did talk about maybe the 3.5 as well. But we make up for about a unit on the day, which is great to see. I also talked about some leans in yesterday's video picks. We talked about Klingan to get some rebounds. He had 17 of those things. We talked about Amin Thompson to go out there and score some points. He had 20, so he also went over his line. These weren't official video picks, but I mentioned them. The other one I mentioned was between Quickly and Jamal Shed to get some assists. Quickly did end up playing, and he hit his assist line. Again, we were talking about kind of the starting point guard for this team. I think is going to go out there and get the assist line. Jamal Shed was the one that I was like, he Quickly probably won't play. Quickly does play instead. But regardless, the leans were there as well. So definitely still receiving the board pretty dang well. And that's what we're going to go ride that momentum. Like I say every single time, ride that momentum into today's picks. Now, I used to go to every single game and kind of give my thoughts on the injury news and give you guys the injury news and teams on a back-to-back and everything. Those videos ended up being about 35 minutes long. Let me know. I know I got a comment last time. I appreciate that. Let me know if you guys want me to go over the injury report, because I have partnered with RotoWire and they give all that information for us. We can see projected minutes on off-court stats and things like that. But I would usually run through it for about 5 to 7 minutes and tell you guys my thoughts on, hey, this guy's out. Usually I see a boost in this guy, blah, 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 and any teams on a back-to-back and certain things like that. I'm not going to do that today just because I know some people don't like the 35-minute videos. But other people I know that are watching right now love the long videos, and they'll take as much information as they can get. And I really liked doing that too. It's just, where do I put it in the video? I don't want people to click off and be like, oh my God, this guy's boring. Can you just tell us the picks already? Just let me know your thoughts. I thought I'd throw that out there. But we'll be using Props Madness to show the plays for today like we always do. Partnered with RotoWire and Props Madness. Props Madness, if you're looking at this video and you're like, dang, I gotta try this thing out. It's very, very fun to use, very, very powerful. 25% off your first month if you want to check it out. And then RotoWire, very, very cool tool. One of the cheapest out there. They show you the projected minutes and everything like that. You do have to get the premium or whatever, but to see the away teams and projected minutes and on off court stats and things like that. But very, very powerful, and it's very, very needed. They're really reputable too. They've been around for a long time, and they also have like a picks and props tool. If you guys are on Sleeper or PrizePicks or Underdog or whatever it is like that, they have a really cool research tool too that gives them their projections, where sportsbooks are. I don't show it enough, but very, very fun and very, very cool as well. So RotoWire, shout out to you guys today. So jumping into our first play of the video, it is in one of those earlier games, but not the earliest game. 2:30 p.m. Eastern, Thunder versus Cavs, and I'm going to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to knock down a couple three-pointers. 1.5 is the line, which seems pretty low for a guy that scores a whole lot of points, especially a guard. But this line is sitting at 1.5, minus 125, available on ESPN Bet, aka The Score now. It's also available at minus 126 on DraftKings. I'd play this on probably either one of those. I wouldn't play it too high in terms of the juice after that. But right now, pretty good value right now. I don't see this thing moving too much. But we'll see. It always changes throughout the day. And he's not been hitting this very much, but he gets a 1 3-pointer in a lot of these games. But the biggest news here is there's no J-Dub in this game. There's also no Isaiah Hartenstein as well. But the biggest thing for me is no J-Dub. And this shoots up to a huge hit rate, 68.4% of games. he's going over this. And I have the three-pointers attempted line. He also shoots a couple more threes in these games as well, which I do like to see. It's not a crazy difference, but the uptick in three-pointers is there. The uptick in points is also there. But I like the threes because I like this matchup for some threes for him. You look at the pick and roll ball handling. This is a difficult matchup in terms of pick and roll ball handling. He's going to get a lot of coverage, whether it's double teams, whether he drives into the paint. He's going to see a lot of opportunities to get into the paint, but he's going to have to kick it out and find shooters like that. But at the same time, I think he's going to have to settle for some shots as well. The spot up opportunities are there. The catch and shoot is also pretty weak, 25th percent there. He's not a catch and shoot guy. If he's going to do anything, he's going to spot up. The next thing I'd like to point out is in these nice matchups without a Jalen Williams and the matchups that are tough pick and roll ball handling defenses, which this is, you can see the three-pointers start to shoot up in terms of when he's actually making them. 3 for 3 in this game, 3 for 5 in this game, 3 for 6 in this game. Shoots them well. He can get some open looks in these ones. 1 for 5 in this one, so he did shoot 5 threes in that one, and then 2 for 6. So the three-pointer is definitely there when the pick and roll ball handling opportunity is going to be a little bit harder for him. But I'd like the opportunities for him to actually get some more three-pointers up in these matchups. Again, you can see the actual stats. Three-pointers attempted, averages around 5 three-pointers attempted in these kind of games. And these are some of these games that he's absolutely crushing these teams. This should be a close game where he sees a lot more time. Any of the games that are relatively close, 17 is the closest one we can get. And in those higher minutes, he's getting 5 or 6 three-pointers attempted in those games. So definitely liking that spot for him. You can also see opponents' rankings. They rank 15th in terms of three-pointers allowed. So if we go ahead and take away that good pick and roll ball handling, three-pointers allowed, it's not like they're a challenging matchup. I can go to get rid of the top 5 defenses in terms of that, and then probably get rid of the bottom 20 here. Again, you're going to see a huge hit rate here around 63%. So anyway, you slice it up here, he should be able to get a decent amount of three-pointers up in here. And again, the three-pointers allowed just start to creep up a little bit without Jalen Williams in the lineup, which I do like to see. So it makes sense when you start thinking about it. Pick and roll ball handling, he's going to get a lot of pressure, which means he might have to settle for some open looks. If he drives and does a little step back, wherever it might be, he can create a lot of separation when he needs to. This is a good interior defense as well. I think he could get to the free throw line a decent amount. But yeah, just liking the spot, especially without J-Dub, you see a huge uptick in his three-pointers made because I think he gets some more open ones. And yeah, just liking Shai today. I think I could go to some spot-up shooters on this team as well. But I think I just want to put my money where Shai is going to be because I know he's going to get the shots up, and hopefully just got to knock him down. So if I'm expecting 5 or 6 three-pointers attempted from Shai, if we're going to get 5 or 6 three-pointers attempted, that's when the hit rate starts to look a whole lot better too. So I'm not going to say anything crazy, but at least 5 to 7 three-pointers starts going to like a 70% hit rate. So I think this is a volume play. I think he does get 5 to 7 three-pointers attempted today, and that's when they start to fall. So hopefully get some open ones. Again, it makes a whole lot of sense. They're going to give him a lot of pressure to get into the paint. Maybe he gets the free throw line a decent amount, but at the same time, he might have to settle for some threes. So liking the spot, the usage is going to be higher. His points go higher without J-Dub in the lineup, all these different things. So liking Shai, minus 125 on the above or the over 1.5 threes. Jumping into play number 2, it's one of those earlier games again, but again, not the earliest game. 3 o'clock Clippers versus Wizards, and I'm going to James Harden to score some points against the Wizards. 28.5 is what I'm going to take it at. I'm probably also going to take this 29.5, but there's pretty good value, minus 125 on the over on his 28.5. Again, I'll probably take the best value possible on his 29.5 as well, which looks like minus 102 on FanDuel. But I like James Harden to score some points today. The hit rate doesn't look amazing in the last 20 games, but without Kawhi Leonard, that's when we start to see a very big uptick in his scoring, which we should see today. The Clippers have been winning a whole lot of games, most of those because of Kawhi Leonard, and they want to continue to win games. They're starting to climb the standings. I think they're 10th in the West now. And again, they don't even have their draft pick if they're a certain badness this season. That goes to the Thunder. So I've been saying it all season, but we want the Clippers to win. Hopefully they do win this game against the Wizards, who have kind of fully leaned into that tank mode. But this is a 7-point spread. Without Kawhi Leonard, they haven't been as good, of course. So hopefully this stays relatively close and we don't see a massive blowout. And if it is a massive blowout, hopefully James Harden's cooking early in this one. But yeah, 28.5, he's over this in 6 of 10 games. We know the Wizards have a very, very weak defense. And you can see a few of these games he's not getting there. But even in this 28-point game he shot 2 of 12 from three-point land, 17%, 28% on the game. And he still ended with 28 points. Another game he missed, 1 of 6 from 3. Another game he missed, just no efficiency at all, 27% from the field, 2 of 10 from 3. And then this final game they didn't get there, he actually got pretty close. It was a 25-point game, but that was against the Oklahoma City Thunder, who obviously the Wizards are not. So in most of these games he's going over, pretty much unless he shoots a horrible percentage either from the field or from three-point land. But if he's going to get above 40% normal shooting and maybe just above 20% three-point shooting, he's been crushing this line. Again, fully expect that against a very weak defense here with the Wizards. Now the iso ball, not the most amazing matchup here, but again, the Wizards are so deep or so weak defensively, he could get to the free throw line a whole bunch of times. He can work in that pick and roll. He can work in transition, whatever it might be. James Harden can absolutely cook this team if he needs to. I was looking at some other guys because I was like, okay, Harden's matchup isn't the most amazing thing in the world, but without Kawhi Leonard in the lineup, it's James Harden that's getting the most bump here. 8.3 point bump without James Harden in the lineup, or without Kawhi Leonard in the lineup, averaging almost 32 points a game. So I like the potential for the massive volume today. He just got to shoot more than 30% from the field and 20% from three. You should have enough volume here to get there. He can get to the free throw line a whole bunch of times against this team as well, which we could see tonight. And again, the Clippers aren't going to be like, oh, we're playing the Wizards, we can take this day off. They need to get wins, and they have been getting wins recently. So I'm going to put my trust in James Harden. I've done it before with some assist lines, and he's cashed for us. But without Kawhi, he should get a whole bunch of volume, and that's really the play. Volume for this one. 28.5, again, minus 125 on the score or ESPN bet. But I'm also going to take this at 29.5, so 30-plus points at minus 102 on FanDuel. You'll see all this in the recap. Before we move to the next few plays, I want to shout out Pikkit, which is a partner of the channel. It is a bet tracker. It's free for you guys to use and sign up. And you can use code RichPicks when signing up, and they're just going to Venmo you, PayPal you, whatever it might be. The easiest way to get it to you, $3 or $100 just by signing up using my code. Again, totally free for you guys to use. And this is an amazing bet tracker. You want to know if you're winning or losing your plays. I can see that I'm pretty good at this stuff over the last few years, up 530 units about. And again, most of this coming from in this last calendar year, where I went up about 390 units in 2025. Pikkit's awesome. Really, really easy to use. All you got to do is go in, sign up, use code RichPicks, get that $300 right after you sync your first sports book. And once you sync those sports books, you got to do nothing else. You can just go on, see if you're winning, see if you're losing, see where you're good, where you're bad, where you need to adjust, whatever it might be. But Pikkit, again, free for you guys to use. Totally needed. You want to know if you're winning or losing your bets. Next play I'm going to go to here is going to be Karl-Anthony Towns to get some rebounds and assists. Home court is huge for the Knicks, and they are going to be playing at home, but it's plus 100 on the over. Pretty dang good value. We got question marks on Jalen Brunson, questionable for Josh Hart as well. I don't honestly care if either of these guys play. Jalen Brunson would be the guy that, it's going to be the bigger difference maker. If Jalen Brunson doesn't play, I think that's more opportunity for Karl-Anthony Towns to play more because it's less likely to be a blowout because of just how bad the Knicks are without Jalen Brunson. But if he does go out there and play, he also plays pretty well with Karl-Anthony Towns, and Towns can kind of do his thing. Hopefully it doesn't turn into a blowout if Brunson does play. But this is a 10-point spread. The Mavericks are, they've been just dealing with a ton of injuries to their team. But Cooper Flagg should be active today. And again, hopefully no blowout situation here. So I like the minutes potential for him. I think he's going to get 30-plus minutes, and in that 30-plus minutes, this hit rate stays about the same. But again, I mentioned the home thing because that's so big for the Knicks. They are a horrible road team, and in home games, they play a whole lot better. And again, hopefully that doesn't translate to a blowout. But in these home games, Towns is hitting this a whole lot more times than not. Home games with that much time in the court, this now jumps to a 56% hit rate. Then you can start talking about the matchup here. Really, really good matchup for him to get some rebounds. 27th ranked in terms of rebounds allowed. They also rank 15th in terms of assists allowed. And again, his dominant assist zone, right at that restricted area, 51% of his assists come from there. That's where they're really weak. They don't allow a ton to the three-point line assists. That's why they're probably ranked 15th right in the middle of the road. But where Towns gets a lot of his assists, it's going to come right at the rim, and that's where they're kind of the weakest. And even 17% of his assists come within the three-point line. They're also weak there. So 25%, or pretty much like 60%, 70% of his assists are coming where they're weak, which is good to see. So they're not a team that gives up a ton of assists, but they're middle of the road. But where Towns is getting his assists, it makes a whole lot more sense. And they give up a ton of rebounds. So the read here is hopefully it stays close. Hopefully he can get 30 to 39 minutes. And he's playing at home in a great matchup to get some rebounds and assists. That's kind of how I landed on this one. You add on the fact that this is a plus 100 play, you're getting a really good price tag on this. I don't think he's played these guys so far this year, especially not with these, maybe not at home he didn't play them. I didn't actually check this head-to-head. He did play them once, which I like to see. This is a great data point. 35 minutes in that game. This is a 2-point game. He had 23 rebound chances, and he got 14 rebounds, and he chipped in with 6 assists. So again, really good assist potential today, really good rebounding potential today. They're home. He should get the minutes on the court. I really don't care if Brunson or Josh Hart play anyway. It doesn't really change his hit rate all too much, to be totally honest. So I was already looking at that. But I think, with the research put into this, it starts to make a whole lot of sense that Karl-Anthony Towns could have one of those huge rebounding games and chip in with a couple assists. And even if he doesn't have a huge rebounding game, he can grab 11 of those things, chip in with 4 assists, and now he's over this line. So the plus 100 added bonus just because it's really, really good value, but it starts to make a whole lot of sense. Hopefully this doesn't blow out. That's the main thing. If he does blow out and he sees 25 minutes, it's going to be hard for him to get there. But if it can stay relatively close and he gets 30 plus minutes, I'm liking our chances. So that will do it for the official video picks, but I got a couple plays that I'm leaning towards. Again, not going to be official, but guys, you might want to consider. 4.5 rebounds for Brandon Bajemski is one of the plays I was looking at, and this is a minutes play. He's probably going to get 25 plus minutes. Again, there's no Kuminga anymore. He doesn't really play much for this team after that demanded trade, projected for no minutes like he's been getting the last few games. And you can see in translation that's turned into a couple more 30-minute games for Brandon Bajemski, but also some more rebound opportunities. And he's got a really, really good matchup to get the boards today. 29th in terms of rebounds allowed. Positionally, they give up a ton of rebounds. You can see pretty much every guard going up against this team, or whatever Bajemski's slotting in there as a shooting guard, powerful. He can kind of do it all. He slots in the shooting guard spot, guard forward, small forward, whatever you want to call him. They're getting a lot of the rebounds against this team, and I'm not even taking this really into account. They just give up a whole lot of boards, and Brandon Bajemski, historically, really, really good rebounder for his size. And if he's going to get this much time in the court in a favorable matchup, that's when you start to see this hit rate look a whole lot better. He's landed on 4 a couple times. That was 2 times against the Thunder, a time against the Pacers, but he's also had these massive rebound games in these more bigger opportunities where he's getting the time on the court and better rebounding matchups. And this is a 5.5 point spread. Hopefully it doesn't blow out or anything like that, but even so, Brandon Bajemski getting a little bit more time without Kuminga in the lineup is going to be the main read here. But again, not an official video pick. There's something you guys can think about. The 4.5 boards, pretty good price tag too at minus 102 for pods to get some boards. Another guy I was looking at is, we went to Shai today, but Chet Holmgren I think has a pretty good matchup today to score some points. Pick and roll big man, spot up opportunities, catch and shoot. We talked about them being really good in the pick and roll. If Shai struggles a little bit and doesn't get to the free throw line and score the points, doesn't knock down a couple threes, I think Chet Holmgren is going to be the biggest beneficiary here. Again, there's going to be no Isaiah Hartenstein. There's going to be no J-Dub here. He's going to get more opportunities, and if this one stays close, that's kind of the big if in the NBA. He should get a decent amount of time, decent amount of looks from 3. And you can see the guys that are going over, similar types of players to him. A lot of these guys are crushing this line in some of these games. Naz Reid had a 25-point game against them. He also had a 9-point game against them in 24 minutes. But when he got the bigger role, 28 minutes, he knocked down a bunch of threes. And you can see that's kind of the recipe here. A lot of threes going in, a lot of threes being put up. That's when these guys are kind of going in there and getting a decent amount of points over their line. Vucevic has done it a couple times, knocking down 2 threes in both those matchups. Miles Turner had a 4 3-point game. That's why he got over his line. Even Alex Sarr didn't get the threes. They lost the game with 33 points. He was still able to come in there and get this points line against this Cavs team because they're weak in that pick and roll big man spot too. They got a lot of guys down low. They got Mobley, they got Jared Allen, but I think Chet can extend those guys, make them a little bit more uncomfortable, and if he's knocking down the threes early. But even so, he can still get in the paint and score that way too. So Chet Holmgren, another guy that I was looking at. And then again with the James Harden line, 28.5 points. If you don't like that line, I think there's some pivots. I think it would be John Collins, who just hasn't played very well without Kawhi Leonard in the lineup, but he has been getting a decent amount more scoring, more usage here in the last few games. And he's got the Wizards too. Again, great matchup to score for really anyone. I'm attacking James Harden in this one, but if you don't like James Harden, I think the best pivot here is going to be to John Collins at the 13.5 points. So that will be the last lean. And again, without Kawhi Leonard, just hasn't been doing very well. That's why it's not going to be an official video pick. But wanted to point out John Collins if you guys don't like the play on Harden. So jumping into the recap, what we talked about in this one, you'll see Brandon Bajemski. I'll point him out first. He is on the official list now. I wasn't going to make an official video pick, but these guys are all earlier games. This is a 5 o'clock Eastern time. But we got a 10 o'clock Eastern time game here. So if you guys come here after that 5 o'clock slate, I want to be, confident, really confident in one of these plays. And the Brandon Bajemski one, I think, makes the most sense of the leans that I went to, especially because we already went to Harden and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So pods to get some rebounds. That is going to be an official video pick. Full unit on it, minus 102. I guess we'll just go bottom up. Towns to get some rebounds and assists at home is going to be the big thing there. Plus 100. Nice play there. Then we got James Harden to score some points, 28.5 and the 29.5. I got 0.7 units on the 28.5, and then I got 0.3 units on the 29.5. Just 30 plus is going to get us a little bit extra juicier or less juicier. Minus 102, pretty good price tag. You have to make your decision if you guys want to do the 30 plus. The hit rate's a tiny bit better on the 28 plus or 28.5 line. And then I got Shai to knock down some threes. Again, it is a holiday, so some of these games are early. Hopefully you don't miss all of them. But again, if you did, Brandon Bajemski is that last game of the day. So hopefully you can at least get that play in. And again, it makes a whole lot of sense. He can be a really good rebounder when he gets the time on the court. So that will do it for us. Again, shout out to Pikkit. You want to be checking out Pikkit. It is a really good bet tracker, and it's a partner of the channel. Sign up using code RichPicks. You get $3 or $100 just by signing up, and it's a free app to use. They have a great mobile app as well. Check out Props Madness. That was the tool I was using all throughout the video. 25% off your first month if you want to sign up for that. And check out all the partner platforms I'm with. Underdog, PrizePicks, Betr, Dabble. Any of those ones are going to get you guys free money when you sign up using my code. And again, a great way to support the channel. And if you guys do use my code, always let me know in the comments down below, because sometimes I get in touch with you and give you guys a free month in my Discord community where you can get access to all of my plays that I put out. Again, Pikkit lets me know that I'm pretty good at this, and if you want to get access to all my plays, the Discord community would be the way to do it. There's also a link in the description down below for that. But that will do it for me. Thank you guys for watching. Let's kind of continue this streak we've been on. We had one bad day pretty much over the last 6 days. Other than that, we've been in winning days, some of them pretty big winning days. So second half of January has been pretty good to us. There's a lot of blowouts in January, which just makes it a little bit harder to read. But a lot of the guys we've been going to and hitting, they've been absolutely crushing their lines, which I love to see. So definitely seeing the board really well. Enjoy your day off if you have the day off. And if you don't, go out there, work hard like you always do. I don't really have the day off today. I'll be making a lot of plays today. But I love what I do, and that's the bonus for it. So good luck with all your plays. I think I said that 5 times. I'm bambling at this point. I'm out of breath. But I will see you guys tomorrow for the next video, and hopefully we're recapping another winning day. So thanks for watching. Bye-bye.